Hello, my friends. This is Kate. I am here in my little studio and I have something very fun to share with you today. Yesterday, I went to a fairly new to me vintage store that is up the highway. It is a tiny little hole in the wall, which we all know are the best kind of vintage stores. And the man there, Roy, who's very helpful, shout out to Roy, he said he didn't have any vintage textiles, but he had a couple of totes at home. And if I would come back, he'd be happy to bring them in so I could look at them. Well, Roy had lovely things. He had a beautiful collection of some vintage linens. And I went ahead and bought a whole lot of them from him. And, tried to give him a fair price for him, but also, oh my goodness, what a beautiful collection. So I'm going to do a vintage haul with y'all today so that you can share in my joy, because there really isn't anything more fun than sharing vintage textiles with other people who appreciate them. So let's get started. All right, so this beautiful little pillowcase, beautiful crocheted edging. I love this whole design. I am a sucker for the lazy daisy stitches that have gotten kind of pulled down over the years. I don't know if that's what these are. I think these are. These look to be just satin stitched across. Handmade. Love seeing the backstory here. Such beautiful work. So thank you, whoever you are who made this pretty pillowcase. I will be sure to treasure what you made. Isn't that cool, you guys, how we can come in here and we can enjoy something that someone made a long time ago. All right, so keeping on going. I won't take that much time for each one, but I do want to enjoy each one. The linen on these also is in really good shape, which is fantastic. Look at this flower pattern that's been cross-stitched. That is just really cool. I love that. So a number of pillowcases. Let's look at this one. Oh, look at that design. I love purple crochet. For some reason, I find this quite a bit. I guess this was a popular color at the time. I love this design because the elements can be taken from one another if I wanted to use them in different designs. They're not so connected. And then I often will use the rest of a pillowcase like this to make pillows out of, or as a foundation fabric for other projects. So lots of great fabric there. There's a couple of these, which makes sense because it's a set of pillowcases. Do you just learn other things you could do? So these are very simple pillowcases. It's a cutout design. Oh, what's that called? Where they cut out the design? I forget. You guys can tell me in the comments. So they've scalloped the edge, finished it very neatly, and then possibly machine stitched. No, I think this is hand stitched. So the back is showing through. That is a great design idea, where you cut out a pretty simple shape, and then the back fabric, which they just used, this much of it, is coming through the design, and then they stitched over it to create the petals. What a fun idea. That could definitely be incorporated into a project. And obviously, that's the thing. I love learning from these designs. That is something I feel like is one of the things that we can do when we have a vintage haul, is just learn from the designs of the past and techniques. Oh, this is so cute. I think, is this it's just like a little tea towel. Pots and pans, cross-stitched, and then with some other little stitching. That's sweet. Little bit of discoloration, but not bad. And that fabric is so yummy feeling. Y'all know what I'm talking about. And I love these little lazy daisies. This one is broken off, but that's easily repaired. That's cute. Very vintage looking. Let's see. Oh, look how sweet that is. Now, this is not stitched. This is just a printed design. That's so interesting because I think this might be maybe the pattern. I bet it is. I bet that's like the pattern that you could follow. So I may well do that. I might actually stitch this up because it has the dots for where the French knots go. Yeah, I think that's what this is. So maybe an incomplete needlework project. I'll take it. Oh, these are pretty. Look at that design. I'm unfolding some of these just so you can see the whole design here. I won't unfold all of them. That is really pretty. These are in really nice shape. So, you know, some of them I may just use as they are because they're beautiful. This one has a little discoloration on it, but not too bad. This looks, yeah, I don't know. Might be machine stitched. Might be hand, no, I think it's hand stitched. Are y'all just blown away by people stitching? And you're like, oh, it has to be a machine. Then you're like, no, actually, I think they're just way better at it than I am. Ah, that's so pretty. I love those flowers. Okay, this is a whole set of little Battenberg lace placemats. So let me just remind you all, what can I do with a placemat? Because y'all probably see these in antique malls all the time. So obviously you can just lay it like this. I have used these and then done a design on the center for all kinds of pillows. That looks so pretty and it just provides a natural frame. The other option is that you could fold it over like this, probably fully line it maybe out to the edges so that this is not as exposed, and make it into a tote or a little bag. So couple ways that you can use any placemat, but these just have such pretty designs. Or obviously you could just take a part of it and put it in a slow stitch project. So lots of options with a placemat. I have a lot of placemats and foundation fabrics, but if I can get a pretty good deal on one, I'm still going to get it because they're so useful. All right, look at this little hanky. It is so sweet. Such a fine cotton material. Some staining here, but this design is so beautiful. So we've got some applique flowers, machine stitched, and such a pretty design. I love how light those stems are. I'm always learning for my own designs, you know, what goes together, what looks beautiful, and I like that. Okay, so a couple of doilies. Fun, unique color scheme. I really love the orange. Not as, well, I don't mind this yellow and blue. I don't know if I love it here, but I might put something there in the middle that fits more with my color palette. Okay, now y'all look at this. This is a tiny little First Communion bag. I'm not 100% sure what a traditional gift would be. It's a little different. We have First Communion, but it's a little different in our tradition. So isn't that sweet? Maybe for a piece of jewelry. The drawstring doesn't seem to be working, and I wouldn't want to pull on it because that fabric is it's a little bit delicate. But that is so lovely as it is with the little bird. And then this went with it. So a little First Communion, another little bag. So these two went together. Definitely keeping that as a set. That is so lovely. Look how pretty that is. Again, a little hanky. And this just has beautiful little detail here. Machine stitched. Love these rosebuds. That is just beautiful. My goodness, you guys. I mean, I'm not kidding. This haul is huge, but so fun. Okay, I did my deconstructionist vintage haul from the other day. Perfect. This is perfect. I can get these little elements and these bigger elements. I think that's what I'll use it for because this is a very awkward length for sewing. It's just not going to work. And I'm not a huge dresser scarf girl. So a little bit of staining, but not bad. And I can use those, you know, whether sets of them or individually, liberate those for use in slow stitch. That is always something you can do. So if you ever see a large doily at a place, you know, you can use them. Now this is a little different. This I will not probably, you know, I'll leave it as it is, most likely. And just think about maybe a wall hanging that goes like this and then embellish that That's kind of what I'm thinking. That would look really pretty, but that's beautiful. I just love all this work. Good job, whoever made that. It's beautiful. Then I got these doilies. Okay, this is definitely different. I don't know. They were really unusual. I got a couple sizes. He had a lot more of these. I didn't want to take all of them because I'm not totally sure what I'll use them for. But again, just an interesting decorative element that I could use in a variety of, just little parts of it or the whole thing. I don't know. The whole thing is kind of, it looks like a spider web to me. What would you do with this? I mean, I can see using this center medallion on something, and I can see using these parts. Now, I know some of you wouldn't cut it up. That's fine. I respect that. And then this one, 100% going to use this as pieces. So, instead of one piece, it's like 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 little suns. They remind me of suns, little wheels. I love these. I love that shape. Some of them are a little bit, wonky, but it's fabric. We can unwonk it if we want to. Okay, now I loved this. It's just a napkin. It's linen. It's oranges. I live in Florida, people. I'm not from Florida. I'm from California. So both of my homes, oranges, big part of it. When I would go for a bike ride as a kid, out west of where I lived, it was just groves of oranges, and avocados. So I will use this in something fun. Maybe even in my heirloom project that I'm kind of mulling over and probably won't do for years. I'm still collecting for it. But, this little bit of fabric, but I can totally see embellishing these and using them in a fun project. All right, so this is a little bun, these things that hold buns, like bread, goes in a basket here. Oh, look, and this one even has snaps, and they're even there. So this one I'm probably just going to use as it is because it's so cute and it has little snaps and you just put your... Now, what I can do with this, there's a couple things. I could use it for bread, but let's be honest, my family does not sit down and eat a lot of bread in a context in which we would need a bun warmer very often, very rarely, okay? But couldn't you see putting like some doilies and some embroideries and maybe a little pair of scissors? Yeah, and you could use it as an organizer. I saw one lady who, I don't know how she did it, but she actually hung it up. My workspace, it makes more sense to just leave it like this. But, a little bun warmer can totally be a little organizer of the stuff on your desk, which I am 100% looking for at all times. So that is cute. And I love that it snaps. Yeah, you baby are staying out here where I can use you. This one is the kind that lays flat. Look at that design. I love how vibrant it is. That is so cute. Love the stitching. So that, and then we've got just some tiny, tiny little flowers. Look how sweet that is. Just a reminder, two back stitches and 2 lazy daisies. That's all that little flower is. But how cute and effective that design is. It just sits there. And then it's offset with this really bright, more busy design, so when it's all together, it works perfectly. Good reminder from the past. Simple is good. So this one is another towel. I love these tiny cherries in the corners. Isn't that a cute design? I could totally use that. Now, the fact that it's on a blue check fabric means that, to me, that's a little bit limited on where I would use that. So I'm more likely to just take this design element and copy that, and think about that. And then, of course, use this blue checked fabric for, a great project. Isn't that just perfect? So this is definitely going as it is, and some of y'all saw my vintage book I put together a couple weeks ago. I love this book. It just sits here and makes me happy. But anyway, something like this, on a page in a book, you can see I did that on this page with a full doily that I just adored and I wanted to keep it there. But, you could wrap this around a book like this where you would have some of the design coming over and some on the back. I will probably use it for something like that. This is just sweet you know, another foundation fabric. This is a little stained, but I loved this, these little polka dots and this little vintage lace. This is very sweet. This I love. So soft. This is very sweet, but what I got this for this crochet. These little circle crochet edges, I see them fairly often, and I absolutely love that design. If any of y'all are crocheters, you can maybe tell me about it. But isn't that pretty? So I may, you know, utilize the whole piece, or I'm not totally. Okay, this is massive. It is, oh wow, it has a label. It is a 108 by 81 inch before hemming size, made in the USA. So tablecloth. And I think, my guess is it was just a white tablecloth and then somebody added this design. But the design is massive. The scale is huge. So, you know, and of course that limits a little bit what I would use that on. But the Roxy's Journal of Stitchery, the thing that we're doing right now with the still life, is that kind of piece where you're doing large flowers that kind of thing could work for. And then other than that, I just have, you know, what was it, 108 by 80? So like 800 square inches of, no, 8,000 mathing. Anyway, a whole lot of white fabric, which would make a great backing fabric for a quilt, or, you know, if I ever do a quilt. Y'all know me. I started sewing in May, which is like less than a year ago. And I don't know. I mean, I'm down with thinking about doing a quilt, but I have not done one yet. Okay. I want to just pause for a moment and acknowledge this massive haul. I mean, this is so much. This is as much as a lot of people would have in their collection. I understand that, and I feel very grateful. You know, and as I said, I live in the American South, where a lot of this stuff is very, you know, a lot of families have a lot of this stuff. And so if at some point I open a little shop, you know, maybe I can share this kind of thing. We'll see. I've been thinking about maybe doing some slow stitching workshops around here, because I don't know how known it is. I'm not sure that it is, and it would be so cool to bring it to my area. Lots of quilters everywhere. That is so cute. And then I love how these little flowers are peeking out. That's a great design element. And then I love that they have this little neutral colored background. I see a lot of this in black. I kind of am enjoying this in that it's sort of like a smoky brown, grayish brown color. I like that because it's not quite as stark. And then the fabric it's on is so nice. That was the thing that I was thinking when I was going through this box of fabrics, was just how lovely these vintage fabrics feel. Another pillowcase. What is that? Is that butter? I think it's a flower. Flower with other little flowers, and more of this purple crochet, which I really do like. That's pretty. It's a little, you know, and that's interesting. It's, I mean, well, it's cross-stitched on the stems, and then, yeah, cross-stitch little design, and then with the lazy daisies. It's very pretty. Ugh, I love that. Look at those. What are those called? And I like the use of more than one purple, and then we've got the crocheted edge with more than one purple. Yeah, that is so, I love that. That one little element, and then this one. Just beautiful. All right. Now look at that edge. That is so beautiful. Again, I just marvel at the work that people have put into making these textiles. Look at that. I love that. And then, yeah, these little edges and how delicate they are. So cool. So again, that will probably just be either a square wall hanging or a pillow, and I will do a whole design in the middle. But we will just utilize this as a frame, you know, an artistic frame that is the art that it is, you know, and we need to acknowledge how beautiful that is. Love that design. Another little pillowcase. A lot of pillowcases, which I love because, I mean, pillowcases are so practical. You can utilize, you know, the parts that you're not using for the design, you can use to make other pillows or use that fabric. I love that design. You know, again, color theory. We've got two opposite sides on the color wheel. You've got your orange and your purple. Always look really beautiful together. So I love that. And crocheted edge is a bonus. My goodness. Okay, two Scotties. Love them. Love this design. It's a little broken, but it's easily fixed. And again, this is just in, I guess, one corner. I think that's all we have. Yeah, maybe a little tablecloth. And then to go with it, so this is like a set, but they're both just, it's a little picture with a Scotty dog on it. Oh, no. That is so cute. So two little tablecloths with Scotty dogs. And look, that's like little coffee tea service and a pitcher with a ladle. Around here, that would be a sweet tea pitcher. Okay, so where y'all live, do you call it sweet tea and unsweet tea? Because where I grew up, you just have tea, which is unsweet tea, and then you have sweet tea, which is where they put in a ton of sugar. In California, I had not heard the term unsweet tea, really, because all tea was unsweet unless you put sugar in it. Tell me in the comments how you call sweet tea, if you're still listening. Okay, how cute is that design? I love that. So these are the two edges. So we've got, let's see, do we have more than that? Nope, we got 4 of those. So there are 4 of this pattern because it's on the corners of a tablecloth. I love that. Okay, we have this. Oh, look how cute that is. It's a little pineapple with some little flowers. I love that. And other than that, just a yard-ish, maybe more, of this lovely vintage linen. Oh, this is so old. Lovely little cross-stitched flowers. And this design of the leaves. Tiny little leaves. Little fine edging on the crochet. Tea towel with this very sweet peaches design. And the flowers. And I love the cross-stitched little border. That's really pretty. And I mean, this is a lovely design. Just the outline and then a few stitches to show the shading of the flowers. That's cute. Another one of these. Oh no, this is a different one. This is cherries with the flowers and this design on the background. And I don't mind the black when it's just simple and primary colors like that. I think that looks great. And then more of this lovely vintage linen. Grapes. We've got like all the fruits. We've had cherries, we've had peaches, now we've got some grapes. Again, I love the simplicity of that design. That's really pretty. And I like how this grounds it, you know, where you've got the these black diamond pattern. It's really pretty. All right, we've got another couple of little runners. This one, you know, I probably will trim up into several pieces that I can use for slow stitching. I feel like, I don't know, I see this one a lot more often, this kind of design. So I think I might do that. We'll see. This is so sweet. Little doily. It's small enough where I can use it by itself, and I probably will. You could utilize different parts of it because it has a lot of really pretty shapes in it. So you could use these leaves. I've used leaves like this before. If it were really damaged, that's what I would do. But since it's not, I might just use it as it is. Right, we're getting down to it. Oh, look at that. This is a very starched table runner. It's very firm fabric. Now this isn't finished. This is just the pattern. Let me just feel. So this part is stitched and this part is not stitched. And it looks like they could have stitched it. I find it fascinating to see what they were given. you know, so they were just stitching over a line. It's like, I can do that. I can stitch over a line. So, you know, you could go back and you could complete this, you know, probably not having exactly the same color. So rather than try to match that, I might even go with a different color. I don't know. Or you can just leave it, because even as it's printed, it still looks really pretty. But, I mean, that's a large scale design again. So it's in really nice shape. Probably just leave it. Use it how it is. Be pretty for Easter, which is coming up. Although Easter is incredibly late this year. It's not till April 20th. That is late. I am very aware of these things because I'm the music director at our church. So I'm very aware of things like Easter, which will be a lot of cool music. This is so funny because it just says glasses. I've never seen that before. And we have glasses. Well, there you go. And that's what it has. And also it has a ton of really cool fabric. Some discoloring, some staining, but not bad. But hey, if you need these glasses, there you go. Now you got them. All right, so we've got another, this is just a tablecloth. And again, if I see really nice vintage linen in good shape, I definitely want that at the right price, because 100% I can use this for any kind of project. The corners are beautiful, and the stitching around the edges is beautiful. So we've got quite a bit of that because it's a pretty good size little, like a little card table tablecloth. You know, and again, it's got some discoloring, but it's in pretty good shape. I may just leave it as it is and use it as a tablecloth. Although, again, I don't use a lot of tablecloths for a card table shaped table, but occasionally. All right, we've got more from our fruit and or just fruits, not vegetables, but our fruit line. Now we've got pears. I'm not going to unfold the whole thing, but those are cute pears. And again, I love that the subject is super simple, and then it just has a little decorative element behind it. That is a fun design. I like it. All right, coming down the home stretch, we've got a table runner with some really sweet design. Look at that. On both sides, and again, you know, table runner, you get the embroidery on both ends. It has a stripe in it, which is interesting. I haven't seen a lot of striped fabric. And then the tiniest little, let's see. I mean, it's like a little rickrack design. It's not actually rickrack, it's just the border. That's really sweet. I like that. I like the colors. I'm going to fold you over. And again, the backstory. Very, very sweet. We have more of our fruits. Strawberries this time. Look how cute those are. Oh, I know one of my friends is like obsessed with strawberries. Who is it? If you happen to be watching, I want to know. I love that. What a fun design for strawberries. It's so simple with the little tiny French knots. And then I love these little flowers peeking through. That is cute. All right. Another little, this goes with that other table runner that we had. A smaller version. That's cute. And again, they didn't finish this. This printing edge is not finished. Wait, is it? Goodness, the stitches are so tiny. It's been flattened so much, and I think it's maybe 2 threads. No, actually, this is finished. It has a little bit of texture on it. That is a very sweet piece. You guys, I mean, this is crazy. We've got so much to work with here. It's ridiculous. This is beautiful. Look at this shape and design. And again, there's 2 of them because it's a tiny little, like a runner, like a centerpiece. I love that. That is really sweet. And then I think this goes with it. Actually, oh, this is a whole set. So look at this. We've got 2 of these and then that set. That is beautiful. Yeah. That is beautiful. I've been thinking lately about some of the pieces that I have and about setting them aside. Okay, so this goes with the runner that we already had. These are the these are the placemats that go with it. That is such a sweet set. Some of these where I have a complete set of something, I'm just going to set aside and kind of leave for maybe even future people. I've been thinking about that, like keeping some of this intact for, you know, what if my granddaughter someday loves doing this, and giving her the joy of finding these little pieces and deciding how she wants to use them. So I may well put a box together of just vintage fabrics for future use, maybe not even by me. I love this. So pretty. And then we've got a couple more. Again, these go with that other set. These are finished. I'll have to put all of these together. This is a little different because it's in the orange instead of the yellow, but yeah, it's the same set. Oh, those are so pretty. Okay, then we've got this one. Look at that. Love the crocheted edges on this. It's just so fun and full of design. If any of you are still with me, we're at the last two. All right, we've got one more of this with the, I think they're the irises, with that one. And then we've got one more of this with the flowers. Boom, you guys have come. If you're still around, I applaud you. Comment, still here, if you're still here, because I'm impressed. That is my vintage haul of incredible things from my friend over at the Hidden Jewel Vintage Boutique. If you're in Pensacola, it's over on 29. And it's a little tiny hole in the wall, but my goodness, he's got all kinds of stuff. All right, my friends, thanks for sticking with me, and I hope you enjoyed. We'll see you soon.